Hi. The next topics here we have some options. Okay, fail parent if the task fails, or fail parent this task does not run. Parent nothing but workflow here. Disable this task. So you have option and or. Okay, any one of that we can select. Okay, so basically in real time we are enabling fail parent if the task fails, and some other properties also we have, so here we are using relational connections. Instead of that we can use parameterized connections also. Okay, these parameterized connections will help uh, when you are migrating the data, when we are deploying the data from one department to another department. So department wise the database connections are different, usernames, passwords also different, means in the development the connections are different, and in testing different, in production different. When you are deploying the workflows, instead of changing manually we can create parameterized connections. So for like mapping level parameter also, this is also same. Workflow name dot session name we can use, and dollar source equal to dollar source connection equal to Scott, dollar target connection is equal to some other users, like that we can mention, and then we can change the connections in using parameter. Okay, so when you are doing deployment that will be easy. Instead of changing the connections we can use parameters. This parameter file we are giving in the workflow level. Workflow, edit, in properties we have this parameter file. Okay, and in configuration object, so we have override tracing. So we can change into verbose data. When you are using verbose data you will get in each and every mapping level, means in mapping we are using source and target, source qualifier, other transmissions also. So each and every record in each and every transmission we will get in detailed data in session log. Okay, so if you want to debug any issues we can change into verbose data, and we can get the each and every record in detailed information in session log. But when you're deploying the data we need to change into normal. That is very very important, otherwise we will get performance issues sometimes, because to create the session log file it will take some time to create that session log. So that is also sometimes performance issue we will get. So that's why when you are deploying the code into any other department, this tracing level we need to change into normal. And in properties you have data driven option. In mapping for example you are doing inserts, updates and deletes. At that time here we need to maintain data driven. Otherwise if you in your mapping if you are doing only inserts you can select inserts. If it is insert here, if you are trying to update anything in the mapping it will not support, only insert operation will work. What are the conditions for in the session level, those are the final conditions, final properties for this mapping. Okay, so that's why the session properties everything will override the mapping level conditions. Okay, you are in the mapping if you are inserting a record and you are updating records, but here you mention only update operation, so it will not insert any records into the target, just it will took only update records. Okay, and we have commit type. commit interval on source and target, we have commit type. This commit type, in some projects, when you're loading multiple millions of records, we have this commit in 10,000 is its default commit interval. We can reduce this commit interval also. In my project, we work with cloud application. For that cloud application, for the sum of the object, when you are trying to load more than 20 records at a time, so we will get timeout issues. So because of that reason, they change that commit interval on source only 20. So like that we can manage the intervals. Means from source it will read 20 records, then it will pass into target. So like that it will split that records 20 20 20 bunch. It will pick that record and it will pass. Okay, we can change that commit interval also. Okay, and next, this is parameter file path. This is the session log default. This is the session log directory. These are the important I'm explaining. So in target also you have option insert, update as update, update as insert. So here also, if you disabled any options, like you are trying to insert some records into target, but if you disable this option, it will not insert any records into the target. Okay, like here we have one more option, truncate option also we have. So for each and every load, if you want to delete the target data, just we can enable this to truncate the target table. Okay, for every execution it will truncate the target tables. Okay. And in session level we have partition concepts also. So means partition means for example, from your source you are getting some millions of records, some 10 lakhs records for example. So for execution it is taking time. So you thought you want to split that records into multiple load. Okay, we can create the partitions on session level. So we can create multiple partitions, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so based on that partitions, it will split that record 1 to 25,000 first partition, 25 to 50 second partition, 50 to 100 third partition. Like that, it will split that record count into multiple partitions based on the partition type and number of partitions. So that is a licensed version topic. So that's why there is no option to explain in detail on the partitions. But using partitions, we can improve the performance. We can split that row source records into multiple partitions. So this is one concept. And we have one more concept also, that is push down optimization. Push down optimization, that is also licensed version, push down optimization also. Push down optimization we are using, instead of running each and every query, each and every logic in Informatica, using push down, the same logic from source side, target side, we can create push down. The same logic it will run in the backend in the database. So what are the operations we are doing in Informatica? That same operations it will do in the database using push down on source and target. Okay, so automatically using push down it will improve the performance. So this is one thing. And workflow level also we have one more. In properties, here configure concurrent executions. Here using session partitions we can split only source. Okay, but using this concurrency configuration, concurrent execution, we can split we can create multiple instances of entire workflow. Okay, so it will create multiple instances of the workflow, the same workflow. Then it will split the data into the multiple instances. For example, 1 to 100 first instance, 200 to 101 to 200 second instance. Like that we can split the entire workflow into multiple instances. Okay, so here we have to create the parameter file. In that parameter file we have to give start value 1, end with 101. So when the end value reaches the maximum count, the execution will stop. So like that we have to create the conditions, the parameters and the limit of the records also. Okay, so using these options we can improve the performance of the workflows and sessions. Okay, these are the advanced concepts in the workflow designer. Thank you.